Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Logan and you are currently watching my first ever YouTube video. I'm pretty excited about it. I've been thinking about starting a channel for a long time, but just recently worked up the courage to do so. Bit of a disclaimer before I go into the actual meat of this video. I would like to say that I am by no means an expert on this topic. I'm just a high school student who graduated. I've been through the process, so I feel like I know a little bit about it, and I'm hoping to give you guys some advice so that you don't fall into some of the same traps that I did, and hopefully I'll give you some tips and tricks that could help you get into the college of your dreams. So I'm not affiliated with any sort of institution or organization or any college whatsoever. I'm just a guy trying to give some advice so that you can be helped along the way through this process, because it can be kind of overwhelming at points. As I mentioned, I did just go through this college application process this past school year. I definitely made some mistakes along the way. I got into some colleges, didn't get into some others, but one thing's for sure is that I did learn a lot about this process. So I'm hoping that this list of do's and don'ts that I put together for you can help you to kind of get an understanding of what this process will be like. So now it's time to get on to the part of the video that you've been waiting for, the do's and the don'ts of the college application process. I have 5 of each for you, and also if you have any questions you can contact me directly, and then I'll be more than happy to expand upon any of these do's and don'ts that I'm sharing with you today. So we're going to start with the don'ts. Number 5 that I have for you is don't freak out. A lot of times when students start this process, they can get overwhelmed by it and they start panicking about the process, but you just need to remain calm throughout all parts of it, because if you are emotionally charged, you're not going to be filling out the applications to the best of your abilities. It's okay to ask for help along the way, because you have a great support system with your school, your friends, and your family, and they'll be there to reassure you and help you to not freak out. Number 4 is don't do things to just put them on your application. A lot of times people refer to this as the fluff activities. So as you're going through high school, you're going to want to be involved in things that you actually care about. Those are the things that you're actually going to excel at. For me, I was really passionate about science, so I joined our school's Science Olympiad program, and I helped our team be extremely successful in that. We went to the National Science Olympiad competition. It was a great experience, and I loved it. And there were also some activities that I wasn't so passionate about, and I found that I wasn't dedicating as much time to those, and I wasn't getting as excited about them, and ultimately I didn't do as well in those because I wasn't excited about them. I didn't have that passion there. So you really want to hone down on those few things that you really care about, and then spend time on those, because the more time you spend on those, the better you'll be at them, and the more you'll have to share with colleges when you're going through the process. Also, on that same note, with those activities that you're really passionate about, try and go above and beyond with them. Go out of your way to do something that someone's never done before. If there's anything that a college likes more than a student who's involved, it's someone who's involved but goes above and beyond what's expected out of them. Okay, now number 3 is a very important one that I had to learn personally as I was going through this process. Don't get upset if you get denied. It's inevitable. Even the most successful people in this world have been denied at some point in their lives. And it doesn't mean that you're a horrible person. It doesn't mean that the admissions office doesn't think that you're going to succeed in college. It just means that at the point in time when that admissions officer was reading your application, they didn't think that you were a good fit for the school. It doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't qualified to go there. It might just be that you were involved in this activity, but maybe they think that someone involved in a different type of activity would fit better at their school. That's a really important word, is that fit. Because every school has a slightly different atmosphere, and they're looking for kids who can contribute to that. So it might not necessarily be your academic abilities that stop you from going to a school. It might just be that they want a different type of person, and that's why you need to not take these things personally and not get upset when you get denied, because it might happen, and it happens to the best of us. So you just kind of need to tough it out and think on the bright side and look at the schools that you did get into and be happy about those. Alright, number 2 is a very easy pitfall to fall into. Don't procrastinate. I know you've been told this a million different times with your school work and your homework and all of that and your chores at home, but it really is important with your college applications to not procrastinate. You really need to put in the time and effort with these, because you've been working your whole life essentially to get to where you are, and you want that application to truly reflect who you are as a person, so you need to make sure that you're spending an adequate amount of time on that. And if that means starting a month before the deadline, then go for it. It's easy to spend small amounts of time every night completing your application than it is to wait until the last day and do it all at once. It's really not going to turn out well for you if you wait till the last minute. So now we've come to the most important don't that I have for you. So this one is, don't try to be someone that you're not. It's really easy for you to try and put something on an application that doesn't really show who you are as a person, but you really want to make sure that a college is accepting you because they want you to go there, not the person that you've created on the application. As I said earlier, the colleges are looking for that fit. They want students who belong at their school. So if you're pretending to be someone else on your application, odds are when you go there, you're not going to fit in because they think that you are someone who you're not. So now that we've been through the 5 don'ts of the college application process, I'm going to take you through the 5 do's. Alright, number 5, this is a simple one, but it can really help you in the long run. Do contact your regional admissions officer. So a lot of times if you go to a college's admissions website, they'll have a list of the different officers that they have for the different regions of the country, plus for international students they have specific people that cover different regions of the world and the United States. So sometimes they'll have an interactive map where you can go and click on your state and it'll tell you which person from the university is responsible for handling the applications from that area. And if you reach out to them and ask them what you can do to best prepare yourself for the college application process, I guarantee them that they'll be more than happy to answer you, give you some advice on what you can do to boost your chances of getting into that school. Also, it serves another purpose. When that college admissions officer sees a student reaching out to them, they know that that's someone who takes initiative and wants to be responsible for their actions leading up to the college application process. And also when they're reviewing your application, they'll remember your name because that will be the person that's looking at your application. So they'll be like, oh, I remember that person. They contacted me asking me what they could do, and then they'll see that you did follow their advice, and that'll be a bonus for you. Okay, number 4, it seems simple, but some people don't necessarily pick up on this at first. I admittedly was one of them. So number 4 is, do take your application seriously. So a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking that, oh, I think that I can get into this school, so I'm not going to take this application seriously. But you really do need to put the time and effort into it, because if you don't, that'll show in your application. And the admissions office will think this is someone who doesn't want to put effort into anything that they're doing. So you really need to spend time, sit down, talk to parents, talk to friends about how to best go about it. I'm sure your school has some sort of guidance staff that can help you as well, but you really need to take them seriously because this is very important and it will determine the next 4 years of your life. Number 3, do speak from the heart when you're completing these applications, specifically with your essays. So these essays, they're often called personal statements, and that's for a reason. They want to see a more personal side of you that is different from anyone else. So you really want to reveal to them your personality, and you want to be almost vulnerable and show them who you are as a person, because that's going to help them decide whether or not you're going to succeed at the school or not. Okay, so number 2, do take advantage of the resources that your school has to offer. So your school has a guidance staff for a reason. They're there to help you with things such as your college application process. So if you go to them and ask for advice, they'll be more than happy to help you. My counselor was personally very beneficial to me because whenever I had a question about what to do with the college applications, she was always there to answer it for me. She would go out of her way to contact the schools for me and get my questions answered. She was in communication with my regional counselors to make sure that I was on the right track to getting into the schools that I wanted to. So you don't really know that these resources are there unless you actually go out and actively find them. So take some time out of your schedule, go visit your counselor, ask him or her some questions, and I'm sure that it'll help you. And lastly, the most important do that I have for you is to review your application once you're finished with it. There's nothing worse for a college when they look at an application and they see something like a typo, grammar mistake, or a spelling error. You want to make sure that your essays are polished so that the school knows that you can compose an essay and you're ready to move on to the next step, which is college. So really make sure that you're looking over those, and there's nothing wrong with having your peers or your friends or your family, your counselor, your teachers, have them look over it. I'm sure that they'll help you if you ask them. Most essays aren't that long. They range from 100 words to 750 words, so it's not that bad. It doesn't take them too long to read. Just really make sure that you're looking over them, and once everyone else has looked at it, make sure you read it over one more time, because you don't want something like a spelling error to stop you from getting into the school of your dreams. So I hope this video was helpful for you all. That's all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. You can subscribe to me, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, friend me on Facebook. You can message me individually if you have other questions that you would like answered. And in the comments, if you want me to do any sort of other video that's related to the college application process or otherwise, I'll be more than happy to put that together. Hopefully I'll be able to get into this YouTube thing a bit more and release videos on a regular basis sometime in the future. Let me know what you think. Thanks everybody. I'll see you soon.